What up, what up, what up, what up? Back from work. So it finally released. Assassin's Creed Shadows has been it's been interesting seeing this game's development and all that has come out from it, and Ubisoft Ubisoft. Consider this a learning experience, Ubisoft. So we about to talk about this game right now. My take, my 2 cents on it, its existence. Now, just so we're clear, I have not played the game yet. However, I've seen plenty of gameplay. Seen a lot of spoilers and stuff like that pertaining to it. So, I'm gonna give my honest opinion on this, right? Now, y'all remember before I was very critical on this game and the fact that Yasuke was one of the main protagonists. You know, he's a black man in feudal Japan. Now, let's get one thing straight. Let's get one thing out of the way. The important part of the game is the game itself. Is the game trash? Is the game good? Is it fire? In my honest opinion, and I'm gonna be 100% honest when I say this Assassin's Creed Shadows is exactly how I imagined a Japanese Assassin's Creed would look. To the T, it looks really cool. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Gameplay wise, it's my kind of game. I like the way it looks. I think it looks really freaking cool, personally. Games like Rise of the Ronin, Ninja Gaiden, Ghost of Tsushima, those are my type of games, man. You got yourself a freaking samurai sword, ninja sword, you just cutting people up. Like, I love games like that. You know? I watch a samurai flick here and every once in a while, alright? Like, that's my type of stuff. So this game, in terms of gameplay, speaks to me. Right? And now for the questionable parts of this game. Which is why I'm pretty sure why you want to watch this video. You want to hear my opinions on, is the game woke? Is there an agenda being pushed here? That's the weird part about this. Because Yasuke, right, is very unclear through and through who Yasuke was. Was he real? Was he not? Now, apparently he was definitely 100% real, but the details on him and what he did and who he was is very unclear all around. Because I hear people say he was a retainer, and then I hear people say, no, he wasn't a retainer, he was a samurai. And then I hear people say, no, he wasn't either of those things, he was something else. But I do know, all I know for sure is that he was serving in some type of way under Oda Nobunaga, right? That's like the main thing I know about Yasuke. But everything else is just like blank. Like, nobody knows for sure. I don't even think Japan knows for sure. Who knows? At this point, I could give two fricks about Yasuke as a historical figure. I could give two fricks. At this point, he might as well just be a myth, a tall tale. That's pretty much what he freaking is at this point, really, because nobody freaking knows. Now, I feel like it would have just been a lot better instead of throwing a black dude in there. You should have just. I honestly think you should have just used a Japanese character instead of using Yasuke. It's just, it would have saved you the BS, Ubisoft. For your sake, it would have saved you the BS. Real talk. Plus, I do still think they did it for brownie points. I do still think they did it for the sake of DEI, which I hate that. You should have just used a Japanese character. If you just heard my grandpa sneeze, bless you, grandpa. Now, there is a non-binary character in the game. I don't need to say much about that. Y'all already know how I feel about non-binary. There's no such thing as non-binary. Why put that in the game, Ubisoft? That's That's whatever. But like, why is that a thing? Okay, now here's the other thing. Yasuke, you can have a gay romance in the game as Yasuke, apparently. Now, that is a choice that you make in the game. It's not there just like to shoehorn it in your face exactly. It is a choice you have to make in game. So I don't care that much about that. I don't care. If you choose that, hey, that's on you, I guess. Now, most people would say, why would you put that in the game in the first place? I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't know. However, in feudal Japan, apparently the samurais were they were doing some gay stuff back then. In feudal Japan, apparently they was about that life. A lot of them was about that life, apparently. So do what you will with that information. That's just the facts. I don't know, man. And then now here's where things get a little problematic. You have the ability to romance Oda Nobunaga's sister in the game, which, if I'm not mistaken, I heard Japanese citizens took offense to that. Because she was a married woman. Like, historically, she was a loyal married woman. So the fact that Yasuke's messing around with Oda's sister has offended some people, apparently. Yeah, hey. That's, that sounds like a lack of research on Ubisoft's part, maybe? I don't know, man. That sounds pretty bad. And then, what was the last thing? Now, there's a lot of, like, this game takes place in feudal Japan, right? So there's a lot of sacred things, like, there's a lot of sacred things to the Japanese people in this game that have been misrepresented, apparently, in an offensive manner. So much so, even the Prime Minister of Japan had something to say about it. Now, if the Prime Minister has to say something about it, I don't know, dog. That don't sound good. That sounds like a problem. Like, I feel like this game is just one of those things where it's like, look, I'm not Japanese, so I'm not gonna be offended for the Japanese people, but I can understand why they would be offended by these things. I know the Japanese people take their culture very seriously, and I mean, a lot of people take their culture very seriously. Black people take their culture very seriously. Indian people, etc. We all do, I think. I don't take my culture seriously one bit. I'm just a freaking nerd that likes comic books and video games. That's all I care about. I don't care about culture. That's not whatever. I don't care about all that. But, I like to make, for example, offensive jokes. Depending on who I'm with. You know what I mean? There's a time and a place for things. And this game, I feel, is one of those cases where it was neither the time or the place. Okay? And now people are offended. So, how do I feel about Assassin's Creed Shadows? I think the game itself is good. But the themes in it, listen, just like with Avowed, I like Avowed as a game, but the themes in it turn me off. Like, I'm not offended by Avowed, obviously. I'm not offended by it. But the themes turn me off. And when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's the same thing. I'm iffy about some of the decisions you made with the themes of this game. Like you gotta be very careful when you put certain things in your video games, because people do care about these things, whether you like it or not. And as an artist, I wouldn't draw something blatantly, disrespectful or offensive, or if I'm drawing something pertaining to Japan, Japanese culture, I'm gonna do my research before I put anything on paper. You know, because I don't want to look like a freaking idiot. And right now, Ubisoft kind of looks like a freaking idiot. Now, if you like the game, that's fine. I'm not saying don't buy the game, obviously. If you want to buy the game, that's fine. I'll probably get the game when it's on sale or something. I don't know. I got a whole bunch of stuff I want to get and play. Like Xbox, I see in the Xbox store, there's a lot of Japanese titles I want to play now. Like, I'm trying to get all those and play them all. But where I stand with this game is, I feel like it's just, like, Ubisoft needs to be careful. Like, they're walking on eggshells now, I think. They need to be freaking careful, bro. You know, it's very weird how, like, I feel like America has been walking on eggshells with Japan for a while now, especially since, you know, Logan Paul went to Japan and acted a fool. And then, you know, you got Johnny Somalian freaking South Korea acting a fool. Like we keep offending foreign countries. We need to stop doing that. Like, we need to stop doing that. I'm just saying. Like, we gotta be careful with stuff like this, man. Like, and, you know, it kind of makes me appreciate Avowed a bit more. You know, at least Avowed had themes on its own. You know, like, it was its own thing instead of it, you know, offending a whole country of people. But, like, Assassin's Creed Shadows is, you know, it's supposed to be like a representation of Japan, right? So, gotta be careful. Again, there's a time and a place, bro. So, that's how I feel about the whole thing, man. I think the game looks solid, though. Gameplay-wise, I think the game is solid. But the themes are very questionable. That's like it. That's it. That's kind of it for me. Get it, don't get it, that's up to you. I'm gonna make another video soon, and the next video will be about I see on social media recently a lot of people say that gaming is dead. Now I'm gonna talk about that. All right, deuces.